Hi everyone. Today with the Gauntlet, we are continuing our series of Western crime games. Tonight's game is Hollowpoint, which is by C.W. Marshall and Brad J. Murray, about bad people doing bad things to bad people, other bad people. Um, my name is Donna. My pronouns are he, him. I'm running the game. So we are a pretty small group of agents today, but we shall see if they need any help. So let's get introductions from players and the characters left to right on the character board. Oh, your cat is causing trouble.
Yeah, the cat's a problem. Hi, I'm Mark. I use he, him pronouns. I'm playing payroll, she, her, and this is my first time playing in the role playing in the Seco Creek kind of um, mythos that Donna has set up, and so I'm just kind of along for the ride, and I'll do my best to keep up with you all.
I mean, apart from the original Seco Creek Vigilance Committee game, right?
Yes, that's a good point. I
Yeah.
was there for that. Yes.
Cool. Thanks, Mark. Will.
Hi, my name's Will. Pronouns are he, him, and I think I've played in the most recent update of the Seco Creek County with Copperhead County, right? So, yeah, I would say that by and large, all you really need to know is that it is a American smaller city that is completely corrupt and filled with rival groups of bastards. So, yeah.
So yeah, the agency in this game, we have come up with the name Audit, not the audit, not an audit, just Audit. They are a criminal consultancy that provides specialist aid at a high price to its clients, protecting their equally criminal interests. Um, And typically, I think in terms of the target for audits actions, let's call them actions, are corrupt cops who are so ingrained in local criminal organizations that they can't be bought by the people who matter. Um, so yeah, or um, or kind of opposition today is a side helping of those corrupt cops for sure, but also the Mountain Mafia, which is like the main criminal organization in town. Um, and specifically, the mission is to destroy the Mountain Mafia's meth production facility, which is obviously causing some competitive strain on the Barnett Mob, another local organization. Um, so I want to ease into our game with a scene where we like learn a little bit about the characters. Maybe we see them at a coffee shop or roll into town or whatever. Um, Mark, let's start with payroll. Um, do we um, do we see her kind of attention to detail, her kind of balance the books kind of personality in operation in some completely mundane situation here?
Yeah, so we're starting out at the coffee shop. Is that right?
Or wherever you want to.
Or a coffee shop?
Yeah.
That's perfect. So I think that she keeps a small notebook with her and a pen behind her ear at all times, and she's tracking all of her expenses here on this trip on this mission, so that she can be reimbursed appropriately by audit. And so we find that she's got this small notebook open, and she's hand drawn in some columns where she's documenting all the currency that she's spending and what she's spending it for, the date and time.
And tell me, what is payroll's coffee order?
Well, it's quite complicated. Is Seco Creek up to, if we're in Seco Creek right now, are are the baristas up to something really complicated, or is she just gonna have to get a black cup
Well,
of
I
black
mean,
coffee?
tell us what you order, and then tell us how they get it wrong. You know.
Sure. So it's gonna be a half calf mochaccino with extra whip and two extra shots of espresso. And she can tell that they forgot one of the shots of espresso. But, she's keeping herself together. She's not going to fly off the handle just because they got the coffee order wrong. But she
Okay.
does make a note of it.
And Will, how about Pythagoras? How do we see him in this situation? And maybe how do we see that inadvertently he has made some of the kind of local civilians a little bit afraid or nervous?
Um, I think that what you see is that he just orders a black coffee, just black coffee, Americano, venti thingy. No coffee, he's one of those assholes. And then he just downs it and puts it down, and yeah, just stares at the people who are like, oh, that was hot.
Yeah, I mean, I think like the barista. I mean, you need to be a barista to pour, one of these hot jugs full of filter coffee. But it's like, oh, was that not hot? Did I give you cold coffee, sir?
I'll have another.
Yeah, and I think that is like what tips her over the edge from like friendly towards an odd customer to like nervously looking outside.
And put a shot of espresso in there as well.
And you get your coffee,
Mhm.
sharpish. Um, so yeah, the take that to go. Do you sit in and like watch the town, or are you much more kind of on the prowl in town?
I think that so payroll takes the receipt and she tucks it into the little pocket at the back of her notebook. And I think that maybe she's interested to see what kind of police response they get around here if they have something going on. So, I'm assuming there's not any kind of payphone or anything, because that's an old-fashioned thing.
Yeah, maybe there's an old payphone that hasn't quite gotten taken out of here. I mean, it's not like a high tech urban center, right? It's
Right. So, she's gonna open the yellow pages, and find the address of a business that appears to be down the street, and she's going to dial 911 and just say there's a shooting outside of the pizza barn on Main, and then she'll hang up.
Will, is this like a common trick of the trade? Is this like just a normal just find out how good or bad the local cops are?
I suppose. Serves a purpose, and it gives you some sort of indication of how bad they are. The next step up from there is shots fired, officer down. Oh my God, there's so much blood.
Yeah, so I think there's like a average, like verging towards mediocre response, right? So there's probably like a single squad car, and there's obviously a couple more on the way, maybe one more on the way, and like they don't see anything going on, but they go in and then they come out a few minutes later and they're like, oh, I don't know, and they wave off a second car. And, it's mediocre. Obviously, not no one in SWAT or anything like showed up, so it was just like a regular patrol car. In may have been vaguely nearby in the neighborhood, may have floored it here. Nothing outstanding. And then, if you stay and watch for another while, the cop is talking to the owner. They are generally in a shrug, look around, blame it on the kids. Kind of mode. And what'd you say? Pizza? Oh, he gets a pizza slice for you. The cop gets a pizza slice on the house for his trouble.
Maybe we have to hit the pizza place. Maybe they're in on it.
I don't know. I mean, anything's possible.
Well, when the cheese hits the fan.
And payroll will note down the time of the response in her notebook.
Yeah, this is just scene setting, isn't it, really? More than anything else. Yeah.
And I think you have like an idea of where to start. You're not just gonna be sent here with nothing to go on. So I think you have a name, and maybe some like details on the best place to start. And you've been given the name Clay Watkins, who is I don't know, key person, like head of sales for Mountain Mafia's meth ring here. So if someone's going to know where this place is, it's going to be Clay Watkins.
Well, I think it's time to begin our audit, payroll. Mr. Watkins needs his receipts checked.
Let's do it.
So what do you think the address or the place you've been given to start looking for Clay Watkins is, Mark?
It is it's the town veterinary clinic.
Okay.
Clay, yeah, I don't know. We'll see what Clay does out of there.
Okay. I mean, he could be like on the books as a vet, but not doing any actual work there, just using it as a distribution center, right? So, Will, what do you think your approach here is going to be? Let's say you're going to find him here, but when do you want to find him here, and what's your approach?
We see on the way over just a stray dog by the side of the road, and then a car pull up, and the door open, and then just a pair of legs, and then it shuts, and then we go off. And with a brand new collar and everything, just gonna Yeah, walk in to the clinic and be like, I need to speak to Clay. The drugs, the medication that he's given Poochie here, they're not working. I need to speak to him about the treatment.
In that drive over, you think we get a scene of Payroll or Pythagoras like opening the glove compartment and taking out a new collar and some doggy treats? What's the how is this dog taking to hitting the jackpot?
Yeah. Well, I think that I don't know how Pythagoras feels about animals, and dogs in particular, but uh he's got a huge fan, I think, now. Poochie is keeps on like rubbing his head into Pythagoras. Is Pythagoras kind of a is he the driver, do we think, most of the time?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Although you got better points than cool,
It's,
but still.
no, you're good. And so Payroll keeps on having to like pull the dog away because the dog is trying to interfere with Pythagoras whilst
Yeah.
riding.
And we've got like Starbucks sandwiches, like feeding them to which you've painstakingly noted down on the expenses sheet, right? Like,
Yes.
Doggy
Absolutely.
treats by 3, $4.99 per. Okay. So this conflict is to capture and interrogate Clay Watkins. So I would think maybe the first stage of that is actually finding and capturing him, right? And the second one would be getting some actionable intel out of him. So we just do like essentially we just do like one roll maybe to settle this. So how do you think you're going to approach this, Pythagoras?
I think what. In fact, I'm going to be like, the dog. Yeah, I need to speak to the dog about his medicine and my medicine. I'm going to like come off as a meth addict himself. Yeah. And I'm going to be like, whoever I'm speaking to wants to get Clay because can get this twitchy meth guy with this scraggly stray dog that has tomato ketchup smeared all over its jaws. So I think that's a terror roll.
Okay, so you're going straight for the
yeah.
So it's like the way you initially described that was going. That sounds like you're conning your way in here, but you're actively trying to be terrifying.
Yeah. The dog's obviously a complete stray, right? So it's not housebroken in any way. It just goes to the toilet straight on the floor there, and I just go like, "See, needs his medicine."
Yeah. Awesome. And Mark, how about Payroll? How are you gonna track down Clay Watkins? Despite on top of looking shocked,
The way, well, my God, that's fantastic. The way they were portraying Pythagoras there. So I'm gonna try to assist Pythagoras here at the same point, if that works. And
so Will, are you so what we do, right, is you can say how are you going to solve the problem, and then Will can say, hey, help me out here, give me your dice.
Okay. So I shouldn't really offer.
I mean, you can offer, but that's just a sign of weakness, right? You're far too nice to work in audit.
Oh man. I'm sorry, I'm like caught up in the giggles here now, still thinking about I
mean, does Poochie actually pee on Payroll's leg or something?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Can I just give a fan mail die for that? Because I can't stop here. Is that
You can,
acceptable?
yeah.
Okay, great. So I'm just gonna push that over. Um, so I think it was C. He needs his medicine, which got me going. So I apologize. I can't stop laughing. Um, okay. So I think yeah, I mean she's standing back, she's watching Pythagoras kind of work his magic, such as it is. And if if Pythagoras wants some assistance in some way, I'll certainly assist.
Okay.
Pythagoras doesn't want to help. If that would be weak.
Fair enough.
So how is payroll gonna? Is this like you looking cool, or is this like kind of working on the terror to like con your way in, or to con Watkins out, or what's your approach here?
So yeah, she'll go with Khan then, and she's saying to the person, Dr. Watkins said that that if Poochie continues to have these problems, that Poochie could need major surgery. We need to see them. Need to see Watkins now.
Okay.
And looking terrified.
So Mark, you're gonna grab 3 dice, and Will, you're gonna grab your 5 for terror. You don't have to use your fan mail die now. You can save it for any point in time.
Yeah. No, I will use it now. Why not?
Okay.
Let's see. So I roll 5 die, was it? Sorry.
5 plus your fan mail, so 6.
And I'm the yellow die pool.
You're yellow. And at any time, you can decide to burn a trait. You can do it, now or after you see all the dice rolls and you say, "Oh, I'm really short in sets" or whatever makes the most sense to you. So yeah, let's roll.
I rolled 2 6s. Was a set.
Okay. There's a set. Oh, well.
Sorry, it looks like you missed the fan mail if you wanted to include that.
I did, yes. 2 4s.
Okay, so there's your second set. Did you roll Mark already?
I'm going to right now. So
Okay.
I just have the 3.
Yeah.
Oh, pair 6s.
Okay, awesome. So this is going to be a short one. The set roll by the bad guys are 2 1s, which is pretty poor, pretty shocking. So, Mark, you can decide what order you go in on. Whoever goes first, you can knock out one of those ones, and there'll no longer be a set there. And then the second person is going to, basically succeed in hitting them with their first stage.
Okay. I'm going to knock, if that's okay with Will, I'll knock out that one so that we kind of get the terror going.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So what does that look like, Mark? You can narrate.
Yeah, I think it's this person is just so basically we have like a clerk or somebody here behind the counter at the vets, right? That's okay, going to get Dr. Watkins. Okay. So she is she's a local, obviously. She does not look very worldly. And she's just taken in by like by the urgency in Payroll's voice, and she sees that she sees that Poochie has been sick, and so she's very concerned. She actually loves animals, and she wants to make sure that the animal's okay.
Okay. So, because your Will's set is gonna hit a first stage, and then that is it. Yeah. So does this mean when Pythagoras is going to like hit that first stage effect to find Watkins, does this mean like the clerk is, you know, not paying attention, you get to slip through, or how do you actually get to find Watkins by terrorizing everyone in this
I
club?
mean, I think it's a case of them, going like, okay, sir, if you take a seat, then no, seriously, your dog can't do that. Uh, no, not again. We need cleanup, sir. And I'm like, listen, I just need to see Clay, okay? Like, see Clay right now. The dog needs his medicine. I need my medicine, okay? I need medicine right now. And as they talk, I throw like the rim half of a Starbucks sandwich on the desk, over the desk, and the dog leaps up onto the counter, like barking and barking, and I'm holding it like by the collar, and I'm just like, see, he's hungry. He needs his medicine. And the guy's just like, shit, oh, fuck, get down the hole, what, like, just like, doesn't want any of this business, just wants to be like, you know what, Clay, you're a sketchy motherfucker, you deal with it. Like,
Um, yeah, okay. So like you get shown in, and like it's not a it's an office that looks like, an office, but there's like no work getting done here except for, distribution paperwork, right?
yeah.
And um, Clay is like this late 30s, kind of scrawny, maybe using his own supply a little bit, and maybe is like so fixated on the number crunching or whatever it is that you open the door and the dog scrabbles in. He just kind of doesn't even notice.
He's like, I told you can't use this office for consultancies, all right? Like, I got to do my business out of here. And that's when I've Pythagoras reaches down, unhooks that leash, tosses the sandwich in the corner, and then pulls the leash tight,
Okay.
steps up behind Clay.
And some survival instincts kick in, but you've got him, right?
Yeah. Hook him back over the chair, right? Like the dog's licking his face as he's on the ground. Like,
Yeah. Torture, god damn it. Awesome. Okay, so that is the first stage, and now we have another second stage conflict. I'm sorry, the second stage of the conflict.
mhm.
So the yeah, I guess you can probably, it's the same conflicts, so it should be the same dice, but if it's a different skill that makes more sense in this context, you can switch up. I suspect terror is what you're going to do for interrogation anyway, right?
So sorry, payroll, is it? Do you want to do a roll here rather than me, just to alternate?
So I guess that payroll can maybe keep the person busy if we're worried about the clerk at all, while Pythagoras starts with the interrogation. Or I mean, it seems like dig and terror kind of are what we're talking about here. Finding out what others do not want you to know.
Oh yeah,
And those are
I
really
guess.
strongly suited for Pythagoras.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Mark, you think payroll is also digging, or are you more like a watch out and make sure nobody comes in here kind of look at it, which might be
Yeah,
cool
I
or
think
calm?
that she is trying to she's just trying to make sure everything stays under control in the outer office here while Pythagoras gets the information that he needs. So cool, you're thinking?
Can I suggest that there must be muscle here, right? Like it's not just Clay
Yeah.
on his own. So Like what I'm saying is, shall we take our initial framing and always introduce slightly more dramatic, like
Yeah, I mean, well,
hey,
so
I
if you
thought we're not letting people see Clayton today. He's in our business. What's going on? Hey, get out of my way, chick. Like that kind of thing.
yeah, I mean, if you
Yeah.
want to use kill to kick the shit out of some people, then there will definitely be muscle here, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if there's somebody that needs to be resolved or taken care of. Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe
absolutely.
the clerk is like, now that I've gotten rid of those people, I can do what I should do and call the lads, you know.
Okay. All right.
So is it dig for Pythagoras and kill for payroll?
Payroll? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, why don't you get rid of that fan mail and roll your dice.
I got 0 sets.
Okay.
So I got
Ooh, they
2
get 3
pairs.
threes. Yikes.
Okay. So if you want to, at any point, you could say, like, remember that time in Utah? Is that a rule from One Last Job? I think that's a rule from One Last Job.
Yeah. I really want to play One Last Job. I will. Why do I love doing this job? Because Pythagoras likes making people scared. And I think that's what we just hear from him as Clay's like mewling and whimpering, and the dog's like ruff, 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 ruff. Pythagoras is like, oh, I love this. So that gives me an extra 2 dice to roll, right? I think.
Yeah. So mark the trait,
Mm-hmm.
and then roll 2 extra dice.
Somehow managed to roll the only results that weren't already in my set. Oh no, way, I did get a set. Actually, no, I got a pair of 2s, didn't I? I missed that.
Okay, yeah. Mark, how about you? Do you want to bring a trait in, or?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to here to keep this rolling. So she's thinking about evening the odds here as the goons come in through the front door to the vets. And
She's going to kill someone with that pen, isn't she?
She is. I'm saving that. The
Okay.
pen's gonna come in.
Sorry.
Right now she's gonna balance the odds. Yeah, no, that's okay. So she's going to try to balance the sheets, balance the books here, and that's gonna give her 2 more. So she has a pistol with silencer, and I'm gonna roll these 2. Oh, for a lot of them. Wow,
you're hitting all those wrong numbers. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So I've got a pair of 3s, but that doesn't really seem to help.
Well, okay. So I guess the security guards are coming in hot, and they're going to knock out one of your 3s, Mark. So like 2 guys come in, and maybe you clip one, but the other guy is coming in from the other side, and they just kind of pile onto you. So I'm going to grab that 3 and drag it down, leaving you with no sets. How do you think payroll takes to this indignity?
So she doesn't have a lot to retaliate with here at the moment. So she's been kind of knocked down into the corner, I think, at this point. and the remaining goon is heading over toward the door that leads to Clay's office. So she's she's on her ass in the corner here for the moment.
Mhm.
And she really doesn't have. She's frustrated, but I don't think she's anything she can do at the moment. So
Okay. So we're left with Will and I. We both have a set of 2, so you'll go first.
I go first.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I really struggle with the mechanics for this game.
So with your with your set, you can remove basically the one of those 2 2s that I have on my side, leaving me with no sets. So basically, this round will be a draw, and we will go again.
This round will be a draw, and if I didn't knock out your sets,
you have to knock out my sets before you can like hit a second stage and win the conflict.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Then I do that. I knock out all of your sets, and I guess the reason they were at an impasse is that leash snaps. You know, as I'm pulling it around the neck, and while Clay's rolling on the floor, like coughing, I just look down at it, and Poochie's still barking away, right? And I just look down at Poochie, and I'm like, "Can you imagine if this broke while we were on the road, Poochie?" And I kick Clay in the side, and I go like, "Can you imagine that, Clay? My poor dog."
And like Clay is, I don't know, equally afraid and confused. He does not know what to think. He is like, you've him in the corner. He's looking from Pythagoras to Poochie, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are going to keep on trucking, and we will basically do another round. This time around, actually, I will remind you in advance of your special ability as an agent, which is to take 1 for the team. So anytime I announce a hit on a character, either knocking out a die or causing an effect, you can like take the hit for the team, and you get to choose where you take the hit. So you can either take it on one of your dice, knocking out a set, or you can take a hit on your skills and get injured.
Okay, that makes sense.
So getting injured will kind of maybe help you win by not having your set knocked out. But obviously, there's more repercussions long term.
Cool. Repeat of the previous rolls then, I guess, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think. And I mean, they're unlikely to be that lucky. They were pretty lucky.
So we could also choose a different tactic and hence a different skill, right?
So we're in the same kind of round. Sorry, we're like yeah. So this is like one conflict, and we're just still fighting.
Very good.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess we'll roll. So Mark, I think you're due 1 more die for kill, right?
Yeah.
You're rolling really well for
that is true. 2 6s, 2 5s, 2 3s.
For God's sake.
Sorry.
Okay.
I'm getting John on the line here. Roll with me is broken.
So you've got 3 pairs. We've got 1 pair overall. Okay. I'm gonna invoke another trait. And it is gonna be you know what? It's gonna have to be that switchblade. As that leash breaks, and he says, "Can you imagine what would have happened to Poochie? Something like that happened in Utah. Guess where I got this?" And I pull out the switchblade. So that gives me an extra 2 die.
Yep.
Ah,
And I get a triple
triples.
threes
Yeah.
and a pair of twos.
Okay.
Triples is best.
Yeah.
So your trips go first.
Okay. I knock out your sixes.
Yep.
And is Mark invoking a trait as well?
It looks
Yeah.
like that way, right? You
Yeah.
drag the dice up,
Yeah. So
but
Yeah.
so I think that payroll has this thing where she won't shoot someone in the back.
with just this one,
So
she'll
let
make an
me
exception.
no. So here's my question. If I roll some, I guess I should just roll and see what I get, and then I'll decide how this is going.
There you go. Pay
Okay,
dirt.
so I got a pair of sixes.
Yeah.
So this will okay, so this would allow me to knock out the 5 on the opposition,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll take that 5 out. Okay, I'm trying to move it, but I can't very well. Okay, it's
Yep.
down over there, kind of. So this leaves the opposition with a pair of
Yeah.
threes. Is that accurate?
Yeah, and you've got
And
Will has a pair of twos, and they're going to knock that one out. But I want to know what this looks
0.
like. Yeah.
Isn't it? Though if I was to knock yours out, that puts us back on another round of conflict, right?
Yeah. But next round I
so-
will interest you in some teamwork, right?
Okay.
Because that's how you
Yeah.
get a big pool together, and mash up all these low numbers that are appearing in your individual pools.
Yeah, I see. Okay, so there's nothing else to do there. So yeah, so I think what to kind of she's trying to she's trying to again even the odds and slow things down. So she starts she starts shooting through the wall that leads into the office. And bullets are kind of like flying in front of the goon who was about to walk in. So she's taken an angle where she's like shooting through the door so that he's walking into that fire, but so he stops again before he can get in there. That's how she slows things down. Okay.
The other way that we can progress in this, of course, would be technically, don't your die rolls go first, Donna? Yeah, or not?
I don't think so.
Oh, just because if one of us took the hit, like he said, then we could succeed.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, because if I'm rolling higher than you or I've got a longer set, I would go first, and then I would not have a set left, and then your last hit would,
go through. So
resolve the stage. Yeah.
So the way to have actually done that would have been to take out your lower dice pool rather than your higher dice pool in order, really. Because we took out your higher numbers, right? So that means that your last remaining dice set trigger at the same time as even before my twos, actually, right?
Yeah, I don't think that matters so much. Yeah.
Okay. But I can't take a hit for myself, can I? So it's whether payroll wants to take the hit.
Yeah, so for example,
absolutely.
when my threes are going to knock out your twos, payroll can jump in the way, right? Take the hit on herself, and then you've got those two twos left to finish the mission.
I'm imagining, by the way, that this is classic, like fairly cheap American construction. Lots of plasterboard and wood, and very little concrete and brick anywhere to be found.
Absolutely. So I'm happy to take that. How do I choose which skill
So it's whatever.
Gets hit by that first.
It is whatever skill you were using. I think. Let me
Okay.
just double check. Because when you take a hit normally, yeah, it's whatever you were using. So you will take a wound on kill.
Got it. Okay, so I've done that, and it's automatically filling in the first stage and the second stage. Is that?
Yeah,
I
so
have kill
in the
under
first
2.
stage, you just like write a description of whatever wound you've taken, just for color, and then
I
that
see. It's
leaves.
because the second stage can't possibly be another skill once it's been defined. But you can.
Yeah,
you know,
so the
you
second
have
time you
that
take a
there,
hit on
okay.
kill, you're knocked out of.
This conflict.
Yeah.
Got it.
It only occurs to me after we've done this that actually I think an agent can take one for the team, and as the hit on a character, any agent may volunteer to take the hit instead of on their dice. So I could have volunteered for. I could have
That's
taken.
okay. I'm happy to do it.
No, I figured you would be. I figured that you weren't like, oh my god, you monster, you've made me take it instead.
Well, it's you may choose to take a hit for a teammate, so it's always for someone else.
The rule in the
I see.
thing just says for the team. It doesn't say that in the keeper. I could be wrong.
Yeah, well, so in the rules tab, there's like a fuller version.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I take it back. This was the only way.
Yeah. So, Will, you've got your set of 2s left to hit that second stage. What does that look like when you get the information out of Clay Watkins as carnage is going on outside?
I mean, it's definitely like as I pull out that switchblade, right? He goes like, "Ralph, fucking help me, man!" And he points to that guy who's just like ducked back as the gun goes off. The bullets riddle the thing, and Ralph goes like, "Shit!" Leans in with that gun like around the corner, like he's just gonna blind fire and shoot Pythagoras. And then I guess that's when Payroll, I don't know, like leaps straight through the door, maybe, like through the damaged door frame or something. I don't know.
What do you think, Mark? Maybe we see Payroll like body slam him, and then we hear a gunshot, and we just see a spray of blood on the window of the office door. We don't know whose blood it is. Both.
Oh, that's perfect. That's awesome.
Okay, awesome. So, yeah, and why don't you tell me what's the information you get out of Clay Watkins? Where is the distribution center?
The knife.
Production facility. Sorry, yeah.
The knife down and just a slash across his cheek, and I just go, Poochie loves the taste of blood, but I love the taste of meth. Where is it, Watkins? Tell me where it is, how I get to it, and how many of these idiots there are there.
And he spills his guts, metaphorically for sure, maybe even literally, maybe both. Yeah, and I think we will pick up with you two parked outside the production facility, right?
Oh yeah, Poochie in the back of the car, in a newly stolen animal crate, with luxury kibble,
licking his paws.
Yes, yeah.
Don't ask.
Cool.
Okay.
In terms of the rules here, so I've gone to my effects. I've taken the hit on kill, and then I've just described it as a gunshot.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Very good.
So that has the mechanical effect is only that now when you're using kill, when you take a next hit on kill, you're knocked out of the conflict. And if you come back with one of those healed. So you're always a bit fragile now when you're killing people. Unless you decide when you get taken out to come back as a new character.
You're good.
Who's going to get this done? God damn it.
Awesome.
The most challenging part of making up a new character is coming up with another cool name beginning with P, right?
Yeah, I know. I was trying to follow along after Pythagoras, so
And Pucci, right?
come up with something. Planchet.
Yeah. Well, okay. So let's take a quick break. So we say 5 past, maybe.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we are back, and we find our, normally I would say our heroes, but our protagonists, or you know, slightly more sympathetic villains because there are POVs, right? um, are overlooking the meth production facility for the Mountain Mafia. Um, Mark, why don't you maybe describe the general layout, or the kind of the part of the city or the outskirts that we find ourselves in?
I think that so they've gone rural for this. This is on the production site is um it's a cattle ranch. And it's a working cattle ranch in addition to being a meth production facility. Um, the production facility itself is located in a large kind of it's a series of these Quonset huts, these like metal roofed, like semicircle. It's like you take a cylinder and cut it in half, and that's what you see there above ground. So it's set up in a couple of those there on the site. And we see some um, obviously cattle moving through, some ranch hands, and then we see some men and women with some machine guns posted around as well, keeping an eye on the meth production. And it's night, obviously,
Obviously.
and it's raining.
um, I mean, how do you know these guys are loaded for bear? Um,
So they've got like a mounted machine gun, like a heavy machine gun up on a pivot or a swivel, and it's kind of up on a tower that rises above just everything else. And they uh they also appear to be wearing some body armor.
okay. So is this like a water tower, but like the instead of like this metal um, cylinder on top, there's like sandbags, you know,
Yeah,
and a machine gun. Okay.
yeah, that's where they keep the machine gun.
Okay. Ho ho ho. um, Will, how busy do these huts look in terms of production of meth? And what makes you
Oh,
like suck your teeth in some kind of admiration?
it's like a full-on industrial setting. They have repurposed this. This all of the aquifers and the waterworks and everything here to be just the perfect meth distribute meth. There are stages. There is a factory line. And they've not done the usual. I'm whistling and I'm saying, reminds me of Kentucky, but like those guys in Kentucky, they had it all worked out apart from the ventilation. But look, he points out over there, like no way that's gonna blow up. I mean, until now.
Without a little help from their friends
Yeah.
slash enemies.
But yeah, it's far more than the usual trailer with a shelf and some volatile chemicals going in.
Um, so I've named the principal. So part of the Menton Mafia is Giuseppina DeMarco. DeMarco is the kind of family name of the mafia's founder in these parts. So either she is like the manager, or like the lead chemist, or a little bit of both. right? So probably central for the continuing operation here, kind of separately or on top of the setup in terms of like all the physical assets that they have here. Okay. So, Mark, what do you think payroll's approach here is going to be?
Well, I would like to do something that's going to allow me to use my cool here at some point, since I put all my points into it.
Yeah.
We are in a car.
We're in a car.
Think of all the things you can do in a car. Like
I know.
Did the Blues Brothers die for nothing? You know?
Hell yeah. So let's see. We're driving in. We've got Poochie in the back seat of our car. And I think that God, I don't know. Will, do you think we should kind of be trying to go in stealthily, or are we going like full assassin shootout kind of deal?
I mean, there's a reason they pay for the audit, right? Like, the audit sends a message. The audit is I think the beauty of the audit, and one of the reasons why it's called audit, is because when the auditors have been, third parties can always check your compliance because of the bodies that they leave behind, right? Like, is very much in the gangland style of doing this was only maybe a little bit less important than sending the message.
All right.
You know? There's no sweeping an audit under the carpet, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And, you know, I think we've framed it as that we're far enough away from town, you know, we're out in the backwoods kind of stuff. So let's go wild, right? Like, you know.
All right.
The way this game works, it doesn't actually change our odds depending on our framing, right? So we may as well go for the gonzo.
I think that since that's the case, this car that we have is a like a 1970s era big kind of muscle car, but it's a convertible. The top's down as we come rolling in, and payroll has a grenade launcher that she is about to use. She's going to be dropping some grenades up on the little eagle's nest up there and in the general area, just to create chaos and start perhaps, you know, start an explosion or something.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds good to me. Maybe that means that I have to drive, right? Like take the wheel as you step up on the passenger door, like, and hold out the grenade launcher.
Oh yeah, if you're comfortable with that, then yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. I'm fine with not rolling my most beneficial stat. You know, that's what games are for. Otherwise, dice every time, right?
So Mark, what do you think? Are you looking for help?
I'm looking for some help right now. Actually, we'll see if I mean, I feel weak asking for help, but I'm going to anyway.
You may narrate why. So just rereading the
So if you agree to give payroll help, you just give Mark all the dice from the skill. So like your cool skill. And now you are kind of out of the round. You're just the driver, right? You're not participating, but you cannot be harmed either. If you say "fuck you,"
I don't want to do that, because if Will's not going to be able to really act during this,
I mean, it doesn't matter. It's just a dice roll at the end of the day.
No, it does really, actually. Well, I want Will to be able to do some cool stuff rolling in here, and if
this is like round one, you're not going to wipe all these people out in one round, right? So.
Okay, so that's fine. So we'll be able to choose going forward after this.
Yeah, it's not like the end of the whole thing now.
Okay.
And also, Will can say "fuck you," I'm not helping. and do his own thing anyway, but now with extra dice because you're weak, and then you get to take dice from the team pool. You know.
I love that. I love this.
Okay. But I actually think I will help you out in this situation. That's the thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So, Mark, you are rolling your 5 dice for cool, and I think Will's 3 dice for cool. So you're rolling 8 dice. 5 of yours, and it doesn't really matter, which color you use. Okay. And I'm rolling 6 for the goons and 4 for the principal. And remember, at any stage, Mark, you can burn some traits. But maybe see what the dice say first.
I think that as they roll in and she starts pumping out these grenades, she shouts, "Time to show us the books, motherfuckers." That's her tagline. And all right, I'm ready to roll whenever. Should I go ahead and do it?
Yeah.
I didn't think I was going to see any results.
Yeah.
It's a pair of fives. And that's it. Oh, pair of ones, a pair of twos, I guess.
Yeah, 2 pairs.
I'm gonna have to pull out.
Outstanding.
Okay. And then what's the opposition got?
2 6s, 2 5s on the goons, nothing on the principal.
2 6s and 2 5s. So I'm gonna pull a trade out. Leave no witnesses. She intends to make sure nobody walks out of here. So that'll give her 2 more die.
Yeah.
Dice. Okay. Bottom. We got trips on the 5 and trips on the 2.
Yeah. So you've gone from being in a dodgy situation to being in a winning situation here, right?
Excellent.
That machine gun nest just goes like, "Oh shit, get on the pick!" As he feeds in the bullets, drops them, and then boom, explodes.
So your 3 5s will go first, your 3 2s will go second, their 2 6s would go next, their 2 5s would go next, and then your 1s would go.
I will take a hit.
Sorry, so what I mean is they won't get to go at all because your trip 5s will knock out a 6, your trip 2s would knock out a 5, and then you get free reign with your 2 1s.
Nice.
Excellent. All right. So those 2 1s, that amounts to that first stage.
Yeah, so you can hit either one, the goons or the principal.
Principal.
Okay.
No, let's keep the principal. Goons. We'll go for goons.
You never hit the boss before you've killed the mooks. You know.
So you should narrate 3 actions really, Mark, of awesomeness. Like your trip 5s knocking out something, your trip 2s knocking out something, and then your double 1s kind of hitting them hard.
Yeah, so
I'm just fishtailing the car the whole time with Poochie just like tongue in the air, as we screech around corners and everything, bullets for it hitting the car. But how about you? What are you doing with the grenade while we're doing that?
Yeah, so just like you said, that the eagle's nest is knocked out. There's a hole blown in the side of one of the Quonset huts, and a van was pulling up with some more goons in it, and the grenade goes off underneath that van, knocking out the van and the occupants. Smoke has filled the air.
We drive right through the like the billowing smoke cloud from the van, right? Like clear
Hell
it,
yeah.
you land crashing down on the other side. Straighten the tie, get out of the car.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. Round two. Any different approach now that you're on foot? Still looking cool, or going for the kill, or just terrorizing the shit out of every last one of these people?
I feel like this is Pythagoras' moment to shine here.
Yeah. I think you could hear like the shouts and screams of the mountain mafia, right? And the voice of DeMarco like calling out orders and everything, like, where the fuck are they? Like, and blah blah blah. And Pythagoras is gonna look, and you're gonna he's got glasses on, and he takes them off, because you can, as he takes them off, you can see the fires reflected in the things, and he looks around and goes like, good start, payroll. Let me see if I can what would it be? I can't think of the right business term to be like, finalize your audit or whatever, right? Let's see if I can improve things going forwards. And I
leverage this, he says, taking out a flamethrower.
I think what he takes out is just a lighter, like a cheap bit lighter.
Okay.
And then he grabs there's a guy like with a gun like crawling out of one of the meth huts, right? And Pythagoras just grabs him by the back of the collar and drags him back inside the smoking meth hut. And Pythagoras is now about to just like all of this production line, he's going to start setting it on fire. That's the terror option, like sowing confusion while payroll, takes care of business, but he's destroying the meth lab, which is going to just be like fucking even more explosions, even more madness, even more chaos.
Awesome. Mark, how about payroll?
I think payroll is has like reloaded the grenade launcher, and she is continuing to just kind of sow confusion and problems by laying down more grenades all over, and she's mimicking Bill Paxton from Aliens in his final moments, and she's shouting, "You want some of this? Come and get some of this," and so forth, and just dropping the grenades all over the place.
Still cool, or is this you're actually trying to kill these people now instead of just ruin their day?
Well, let's say she's actually trying to kill people this time.
Okay. Any helping teamwork going on, or are you plowing your own furrow?
Well, actually, that's a valid point.
If you call for help this time, I'm going to tell you no, I'm busy.
Okay, that's cool. I was,
Yeah.
Well, let's do this though. Let's do this thing where we get some of these teamwork dice. So I'm going to ask, and then you refuse.
Yep.
So then, how does this work?
So
you guys.
Yeah. So
Oops.
Mark, you're starting with 4 dice for kill.
Yeah.
And you're asking for help. And Pythagoras is saying,
I'm busy.
Fuck you, I'm busy. So Will, you take 2 of payroll's dice.
I'm busy. You're going to have to action this yourself. I take 2 of that.
Yeah,
nice.
You take 2, and then payroll can dip into the team pool for however much she wants.
Awesome. Awesome.
So will you be rolling?
And these are non-replenishable.
These are non-replenishable, yeah.
Okay.
But you know,
She's not going to go crazy. She's going to take
you
4.
only live once, right?
She's going to take 5.
Okay. I mean, that is not the majority of the pool, right? Okay.
No, it's not.
Okay. So what? How does payroll react when Pythagoras says, "I'm busy"? You know.
She then mimics. She then mimics Vasquez from Aliens and calls him a
You
what is
always
it?
were an asshole.
Bandejo jerk off. Yeah, that's what
You
it
always
is.
were an asshole.
Pythagoras, you always were an asshole.
Yeah. I mean, that makes Pythagoras a lot less cool now that we're drawing
Now that
Corman's
I'm gone,
expressions.
yeah.
But
I'm
that
so
gives
sorry,
you
Will.
both healthy dice pools. So let's roll and see how it goes.
Awesome.
That's the only kiss of the entire movie, though.
Yeah.
I mean, the aliens are kissing plenty of people, right?
Oh, true. So I'll roll
All right,
my
I'm rolling.
7 dice.
Yeah. This looks like it's gonna be a victory parade.
Ooh, baby.
3 6.
Wow. Is it wow? Yes, it is wow. Yeah.
Not too bad. Yeah.
So trip 6s, trip 3s, your 2s, their 2s, your 1s, their 1s. So you can, I don't think you quite wipe the floor with them, but it's close enough. So Mark, your 3 6s go first.
So let's see. They've got a pair of 1s and a pair of 2s.
Yeah.
I kind of want to leave the DeMarco for the Psycho to kind of take care of, because I think it's going to be interesting. So I'm going to just knock off this 2. I don't know what's going on, but I can't move stuff. From the goons, which leaves them with nothing.
Yeah. With their 3 4. Now they have a 2 3 4 5 6. All the good it does them.
Right. It's a straight. And Yahtzee.
Well, if they were playing poker, that would be great, but they're not. They're under audit. No one plays poker with the auditors. So what does that look like? Just carnage from a 40 mil automatic drum grenade launcher?
Grenade launcher. Yeah. It's just so many. Do we have a line on graphic gore? No. It's just.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, good. It's just so many chunks of people everywhere, just body parts littering the ground.
Stepping on a hand as you go past, right?
Yes.
Ouch. Will, your trip 3s go next.
Yeah, I think DeMarco is, his explosions go off and there are screams and she's yelling at people like, "Put out those fires, get it, put it out," and like a group of them throw down their guns and grab fire extinguishers and they go running towards the huts. And then Pythagoras comes walking out, and he just, he smiles. No, I'll tell you what happens actually. No. The guy I dragged in there comes running out on fire, screaming, and runs straight into the other hut, that then immediately goes off, like, poof, and they all fall to the ground. And then Pythagoras comes out of the first hut, just in his hands, and goes like, "Wow, I didn't know if that would work." And then, poof, that one goes up behind him. And he's just standing there, like, wreathed in flames, as these guys are like, "Oh God," like backing away.
I mean, the ventilation system did not have that in the specs, right?
No, you know what? In fact, he's not got his jacket on anymore because that's what he stuffed into the ventilation. It's just in his shirt. And it's...
Also, so that takes care of their one, right? Yeah.
we've reached the point where I'm just like, Donna, you tell me what those dice are doing
Yeah.
because I've lost track of it entirely.
Okay. So now you got back to Mark. You got your pair of twos.
So yeah, go
And
ahead.
you've got no sets to take care of on their side, so you can hit either the goons to take them out, or inflict first stage on the principal.
Yeah, so inflict first stage on the principal, I think. Which is going to be just a lucky random shot. One of the grenades bounced off the side of the Quonset hut and fell behind DeMarco, went off. She kind of like fell forward, took a little bit of shrapnel, but she's back up.
But dazed and confused, and kind of looking at her life's work, bubble up into the atmosphere.
It's the shaky cam time from DeMarco's point of view.
Yeah.
Just as she was lining up a shot on Pythagoras, and she was going, "Kill that fucking psycho," and then.
So yeah, Will, you have a pair of ones left. So you can either finish off the goons or finish off DeMarco.
I think it is DeMarco. Yeah. That whole shaky cam thing, right? And she's staggering along, and then a dog licks her face. And Pythagoras just scratches his Poochie's head behind the ears and goes, "Good dog." And then, I don't think we need to go in any further on what happens there. DeMarco is just like, "No," and Pythagoras like, "I'm here to tell you that you've passed your audit."
Okay. So I'm not sure. I mean, obviously, you could stick around to take care of the remaining goons. I don't think that's really too interesting, though.
No.
But maybe we have a quick scene, of ye. I don't know, maybe catching breakfast back in town.
One thing before we leave the scene is Payroll kind of like sets herself up, and she pulls this compact Polaroid out of her coat and sets herself up for a second selfie with the carnage, takes that shot, and then she's just kind of like waiting the Polaroid to dry as we fade out on that scene.
I mean, maybe it's I have no idea what the presence of naked flames nearby does. Does it speed up the resolution of that chemical process, or
it can't
anyway,
hurt,
it looks good,
right?
yeah.
It's heat, yeah.
Any final parting shot from Pythagoras on the way out of this scene of carnage?
I think just whistling as we drive off down the road, right? And I think maybe as we drive off down the road, we're coming out of the hills, and it's just a tracking shot and the flames off in the distance, right? Like a drone shot. You can see like police sirens and a fire brigade truck like coming up one of the other passes, right? And we take the turn just as they're coming up one turn, right? And in the car, Pythagoras just checks his watch and looks over at you and goes like, "You were right."
Do we see Poochie in the car, or just living free on a?
I think definitely there is a dog leaning out. Okay. Leaning out the window, right, as we drive off.
Yeah. Get on the highway.
Wind blowing the ears back.
So do you think like a scene grabbing breakfast in town before you go off to the next client?
Yeah, I think especially we it's a booth in the diner, and Poochie is sitting with us at the booth. That's okay, and is chowing down on some eggs and sausages, and the wait staff kind of looking nervously at us like we shouldn't be letting them have that dog at the table. But then they look at Pythagoras again and they decide they're just going to let it slide.
Mm. Yeah. Pythagoras is just watching you, and like he's going through your receipts, and he's just like, I can't believe you do this. But if you're gonna do it, make sure you get mine as well, right? When he puts in a couple of his own receipts into the book.
She sighs,
So like,
turns to a new page.
More waffles, more coffee. More coffee?
Yeah, more coffee. Yeah. No coffee for Poochie.
I'm almost be like, we're exactly the kind of dipshits that would give the coffee to the dog, but I think that's very bad for dogs, so maybe not.
okay.
Yeah, I think that was a successful bit of blood and fury for a wrath have been visited upon the mountain mafia of Copperhead County.
Yeah. The the Barnett mob will be happy, right? God damn them.
So this is you're throwing this in as an effect in your Copperhead County game.
Yeah,
right?
This is a bloody interlude in between part 1 and part 2 of the Copperhead County game. So
yeah, so I guess at the end of that one we murdered. So one of the Barnett mob's like allies turned against them and was like trying to take the territory, but then we just murdered him because he killed our dad. It's like, so the Barnett mob are sort of on the up, but I guess they're on the up, and they've decided to take a swing at the mountain mafia, like first for blood, and and so I guess next season on Copperhead County there will have been a big hit and a massive impact to the meth supply of the mountain mafia's like industrial factory for meth,
and maybe some new opportunities for the gang, right?
Yeah, let's just hope we don't get audited.
Yeah, well, I think you're small fry, right? Small fry don't get audited.
Yeah.
Like if the Barnett mob couldn't really take care of you, then they probably lose their membership, right?
That's true. Yeah. But hey, they're out there, Pythagoras and payroll.
Yeah. Okay.
And Poochie.
And Poochie.
The trip peas.
Newest intern. Okay. I'll stop recording and we do a quick debrief. So yeah.